Today we have a very special guest, Omar Aziz, Afghan diplomat also and husband of Afghan diplomat. He served in several foreign countries in Europe and in Asia. We are very happy to have you here, Omar. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much. It's indeed my pleasure to be here. And once again, it's a chance for me to know more about Poland and to also express our gratitude to the Polish people and the government for all this excellent relation which has started a long time ago, almost 75 years ago in 1928, while our King Amanullah Khan was visiting Warsaw, Poland. It's always been pleasure for us, and we have been through a very long and very fruitful relation with Poland.
So, dear Omar, how long have you been in Poland?
I've been here more than a year, but of course it was with back and forward to Central Asia, Kazakhstan, because I also in charge as a chargé. To be honest, Poland is not only that we know from a year and a half. Poland has a very root to my childhood. Back 1980s or 85, while I was watching very often a movie about Poland called Black Clouds. I don't know the name in Polish. And this was showing a history of Poland with a very pride. So from my childhood, I have a feeling and understanding of Polish people as a very loved and pride people and love for independence.
So the name of this Polish movie was Czarne chmury in
Exactly.
Polish.
Yes.
Oh, so it's incredible that you know that in Afghanistan you could watch Polish movies. Wow, I'm impressed. But could you tell us why you came to Poland?
To be honest, I have been working in Europe in many countries as a long-term stay, like in Geneva back 2015. I was chargé and head of mission there. And I've been in many European countries as a mission and work and as a tourist as well. But Poland was there in my schedule to visit at least once. And it didn't happen because of my tight schedule in Afghanistan and during my diplomatic missions. But luckily, end of 2019 and I think in the March of 2020, my wife was posted here as a chargé and at the beginning and as a deputy head of mission. So this was the main reason that after I visited Poland for the first time in March 2020, I think.
So, diplomat, chief of the mission is your wife here. But you are, as a diplomat, you also have special missions. Could you tell us about it?
Well, to be honest, in most of the countries, it doesn't matter whether you're a spouse of a diplomat or a diplomat. In so many countries, they don't write in their business card that a spouse of diplomats or a spouse of ambassador or a spouse of deputy head of mission. They write exactly the same title because it shows that every one of us abroad, whether we are a spouse of a diplomat or a diplomat, we have the same almost responsibility to represent our people, our culture, and to expand in different ways this relation. And for me, while I'm here in Poland currently, this organization SHOM, which is the Spouse of Head of Missions in Poland, is a very good organization and a very good somehow hub to meet and to exchange ideas and knowledge, and also to know very well the Polish people. For example, I was witnessing this charity bazaar in Warsaw, I think months ago, I was able to meet many Polish citizens who are very much interested in Afghan culture, Afghan food, and they told me, many of them, that they have been in Afghanistan, especially back 1970s till 80s, while Afghanistan was enjoying an excellent political and economical sustainability. So for us, it's a pride that we have been two nations and always had very close and friendly relationship for the whole period of our historical and diplomatic relation.
But being here, you also are connected to the embassy in Kazakhstan.
I'm connected to the Afghanistan embassy in Kazakhstan, as well as I'm active in a part of group of ambassadors for cooperations about Afghanistan foreign policy. But mostly our activities is online and taking positions about current situation and foreign policies about Afghanistan.
In some people's perception, Afghanistan is an unlikely country to send a woman to such an important post like chief of the mission. Would you like to debunk this myth?
Unfortunately, there is not in some times and some with some people not a real picture of Afghanistan. Afghanistan has been from very long time, since 1990, a member of nations, independent, and the first Asian country who got the independence from British. And this country has been very long history about woman and very great woman. For example, back almost 100 years ago, we had a queen called Suraya. She was the spouse of King Amanullah. And in 2020, she was one of the very best figures in Time magazine as a developing education and so many other cultural issues in Afghanistan. So if we are talking during the period of historical period of Afghanistan independence and government, the whole time there has been a great role of women in the government and society, in the economy. The only black history we have is from 1996 up to 2000, while the Taliban took over the power in Kabul and some other part of Afghanistan. So they banned girls and women from the school. And then when we took back the government in 2001, so we started almost everything from the beginning. We had open schools, Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. We have opened the schools again, the universities. So we were able to educate a lot of girls in Afghanistan and abroad. They went abroad and they were educated. So after 4 or 5 years, we had a lot of female Afghans who were working in different ministry of the government, and especially in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Back already 2 years ago, or before 15 August, when Taliban took over, we had almost 16% of staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs female diplomats, and among them we had several ambassadors and head of missions, like in New York, in even now in Vienna. Also, our ambassador is a female diplomat, and before that, in Geneva, there was also a female diplomat as an ambassador. And we had many female ministers in the cabinet, and we also had the biggest number of parliamentarians in the world. We had 28% of parliamentarian female representative.
Oh, that's great. But
so this is not the real story of Afghanistan. It's an exception period within 1996, and now after this talk over again, Taliban, so since a year and a half, that the women are not allowed to go to school and to go to work. This probably will be again temporary, but sooner or later there will be a solution for this, that the woman can go to the work and can go to the universities and schools.
Okay, thank you very much for this sharing this information with us, because it shows a different Afghanistan that we know sometimes.
Exactly, yes.
So thank you very much. And now in Poland, you are observing the situation in our neighbor Ukraine. What is your country position to this war?
Unfortunately, there's many similarities between the history of Afghanistan, Poland, and somehow Ukraine. For us, as an Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, we are always, our foreign policy is to respect the sovereignty of the nations and to come to these challenges and problems through peaceful resolutions. We have said that in the United Nations Assembly last year by our representative there in United Nations, and we are very much in support of sovereignty and the independence and peaceful nations in our region and around the world.
And how are current relations between Poland and Afghanistan?
Well, the relation between Afghanistan and Poland, as I said before, it's a very long history. It's almost a relation of 75 years. It started back 1928 with our visit of our King Amanullah Khan to Warsaw. And it were going very normal, except the duration of World War II. There was not a normal situation in Europe. After that, I can somehow divided this relation in four parts. The first part was this, and the second part was after 1980s, while Afghanistan freedom fighters or Mujahideen, especially the national leader of Afghanistan, Ahmad Shah Massoud, who wrote to one of the movements of freedom in Poland that we are fighting the same goal. He wrote in the letter that we are fighting in mountains here, and we know that you're fighting for freedom and independence from communism in Poland, that one day we will achieve this goal. And then after years, I think after 25 years something, this leader, he was the president of Poland. And this information and this message was given to him almost 20 years ago, that one day we will succeed to be in the government. And he was, after in 1991 and until 2001, he was the vice president and defense minister in Afghanistan. And here this movement, freedom movement, was the president of Poland in Poland. And then this the second part of our relation, and the third was after we took over Kabul back in 2001 from Taliban, and this period almost for 22 years was the period of republic, and we have almost rehabilitate and build every system of Afghanistan, whether in the construction and health system, in the education and in the governance, everything, and being as a part of international community, we had a great appearance and we had a great contribution. So I started my work back 2001 in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I was witnessing as a staff foreign minister that in one day we had around 2-3 head of states and foreign minister coming visiting Afghanistan. So we were at the peak of attention of the world for rehabilitation and constructing the country system from the beginning and bringing system and democratic system in Afghanistan. So in this period, Poland was one of very, very great nations, and that they come over to Afghanistan and they supported in security issue. There were troops of Poland in Afghanistan, and then they took part in many construction projects. And beside that, there has been a lot of chance for Afghanistan students to come over to Poland, having a scholarship from the government and also in private universities. And also there has been a lot of investment and trade between Afghan and Polish companies. And then after take over Taliban again, Poland again showed a great friendship and a great attempt. There was teams of Polish that they went there and evacuate people in need, and they saved the people's life, and they took and evacuate more than 1,000 people from Kabul and other parts of Afghanistan, and provide them very good facilities here in Poland, especially the group of female lawyers, and they give them again a safe and better life for them and for their children. So this is almost this long history of our relation, and we also expect in the future very much from Poland as a friendly country, since Poland is developing very fast and is number 6 among the European Union countries in developing, and number 22 in the developing among the countries in the world. So me personally, I see a very great and bright future for Poland and Polish people. And I know that Poland had suffered many years, like us, to having a state and nation, and many of Polish people migrated in many countries, especially to the United States. And I also saw some background of Polish who immigrated in Asian countries. And especially I read a story about how Indians were welcoming Polish people during the World War II. So this is, I know this is a tough and very challenging time. On the other hand, this year and the second generation of Polish people who live abroad, especially in the United States and some other countries, they have been educated, and this is a great chance for Poland development, and for Poland when they are coming back to their country. So this could be a very good and great example for Afghans. Once I had a discussion with one of Dean of University in Poland about some programs, and we were discussing about Afghanistan and Polish culture. He told me that we have suffered a lot for being a nation and independent. So I think we should know much better the value of a nation and a country rather than anyone else in the world, which I totally agree with that.
My next question will be, what do you like most about Poland?
Well, there are a lot of things to love about Poland. First of all, the weather is very much similar with Afghanistan, and naturally Poland has very beautiful nature, and as a nature itself. And also there's a lot of beautiful man-made parks and flowers, especially in spring and in summer in Poland. And also Polish some part have a beautiful winter covered with snow. I've been around and discovered as much as I could. It's a very lovely nature and very nice and polite and educated and very maybe I use a French word which is chic. Mm-hmm. They are very chic and very well-dressed people as well.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for all of us. And so Is there anything completely different here than in other countries that you have served?
If I compare Poland with the rest of European Union or European countries, which I've been mostly in Western Europe, in Switzerland, in Germany, in France, in Italy, in Austria, and so many other European countries, something which is very different, I feel very different, is that you face majority Polish people here in Warsaw, and you feel that you're in a real Polish and European culture city. And another thing about the speciality of Warsaw is that a very small, old and beautiful town, and at the same time the town has been enlarged in a very modern and a very high standard of construction at the same time. So in a very short time, around half an hour or an hour, you can visit very small towns and the capital with a very old construction and architecture. In 30 minutes, you can be in another part, like in Milano, which you see very modern buildings and very nice roads, which are quite wild, and you very rarely face traffic during the even rush hour. So the system of the roads here is perfectly done. I never ever faced a jam here while I'm driving, but it's different in other European towns. Sometimes in very small towns, you stack 10, 20, 15 minutes in a rush hours. So this is, I think, very special about Warsaw, and I think the way they plan, it will go very well in the future as well.
I hope you will have still a lot of time to visit other Polish cities and enjoy Poland. Maybe during summer it will be much nicer, but then I would like to thank you very much for your visit here, that you could answer my questions and that you could tell about your country, about your history, about your politics. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.